People are looking for something real. God is looking for someone real. Be real. Live from the Be Real Lounge, you're with us in the lounge. Your hosts, Daniel Lewis and Brother Brad Haynes. How you doing?
Howdy, man.
Yeah.
Good morning to you.
Good morning to you. Good cool morning to you.
Yeah, chilling in the lounge, man.
Yeah, chilling on a June morning.
It's been hot days and cool nights and mornings.
Yeah, I'm enjoying
less
it.
Cool, but man, it has been nice and cool.
It has.
But a little dry. But
We
did get some rain.
Got a little bit of rain, but I
little.
noticed these yards as I was been driving around got some brownage going on. So
Starting to brown up.
I'm not minding it too much, but I really hate it for the gardeners and folks like you that just they depend on the water, which you have a system that actually.
If I didn't have
awesome.
that water set up, man, I'd be in Barney.
Yeah.
Barney Rubble trouble.
Barney Rubble trouble.
But thank God, man, he did give me that, and I can set it up. Don't have to use any power or energy. It's
neat.
all gravity. And
it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's a natural water system.
I'm really thankful, man, beyond words, and it's pretty cool, man, to be able to have a garden when it is dry and stuff's burning up, and it's kind of the way life is in the world. It's a dry bed, man, stuff shriveling up, but he brings the water like that system, and he just keeps you fed even in the stress. You know what I mean?
He knows what we need, and so. But I just see the yards drying up. I'm grateful because it's slowed down my mowing. I was mowing there almost twice a week.
Yeah, me too.
There for about a month and a half or 2 months, and then so now it's kind of slowed up a little bit, and it's like. It's a little bit of a break there, my son does most of the mowing now, but we take care of some neighbors and stuff, and so it's
always mowing.
It's always something to do, and
so
it's just one of those things I don't look forward to is going out there and mowing. I actually enjoy it. I love getting out there, and I don't wear any headphones or anything. I just think, and kind of spend time with the Lord and mow, and I actually enjoy it. But it's just it feels like a waste of time to me. It takes me about a good 3 hours to get everything that I want to.
Me too.
And I got to do it right. I'm not one of those half butt persons. I got to get it done, and so.
And I know you still mow with a push motor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
My neighbor has a riding mower, praise God. But there's a lot of trimming that needs to be done with a push mower, though.
Yeah.
But my son, he has the push mower at our house, and it's about 4 acres.
Yeah.
And so he splits it up in days. It takes about a good 3.5 hours to mow it. If you went ahead and just got everything done, it'd be about 3.5 hours of straight push mowing.
I do all this with a push mower too, man, and bag it up and feed it.
I think it's good for him though. He earns a little cash, and
awesome,
plus
dude.
it gets him off the couch and stuff like that during the summer. And so he does a very good job. I've had to train him and doing some stuff, but and remind him to do some stuff, but he does a really good job.
Awesome.
He does, it's good. And I know he don't like it. He doesn't look forward to it all, just like I don't look forward to it, but I know it's done his body good. It's good to get out there and do some work.
Well, dude,
instead of just sitting around. So
before we launch into the other stuff that I'm gonna push you on, which I am gonna push you on, and we'll get into it. But me and Tanya were talking about that. We woke up at 4:00 this morning, couldn't sleep, and we had a lot of time together, just chilling in the Bible, talking and working stuff out. And I was saying how thankful I am, that my parents instilled a discipline in me, and I was just like your son, man. I didn't want to do any of that crap.
Yeah.
I hated it. But what happens is you get a discipline deep down in you that when you become a man, it comes out of you. And I'm so thankful for that. And we have to have that. Like you're not
scared of work.
No. And we don't work anymore. And you doing that little thing is instilling such a discipline in him. And he's going to remember that, because I remember all the times mowing and hay and all this stuff that I hated, but now I love it. And if stuff's not in order like that, I feel lazy and just like a bum. So that's, if you don't instill that in your kid, then they're cool with being a bum. They don't, I mean, if you don't ever make them work or anything, well, then they're not going to. They literally are not going to know how.
Yeah.
And
that's the truth of it.
So good for that. Good job, Austin. And those little things matter so much. And we try and discount them like they don't. But see, things would be a lot better off if we were just all taking care of business in those little ways. And you know, I know it's a pain in the butt for you parents. It was a pain in the butt for my dad when he was telling me when we didn't have the technology. What is it like now? I mean, just trying to get your kid to mow it. It's a lot easier to just do it yourself or pay someone to do it than to have that battle all the time you need to do it. But you keep it up and just, hey, that's your responsibility. They're going to do it and take pride in it, and then let them own it. You know, I mean, I go into behavioral specialist mode here, man. Start talking about kids.
That's why I'm grateful for him. It's not a fight. I just, you know, I actually made him in charge.
It's awesome.
I just give him, you know, after a while, I just let him have.
You've empowered him.
It's just going to be just like a job.
Cool.
And when he mows a certain section, he writes it down, and I pay him for that section on the 15th and on the 30th of the month.
Great job.
If he don't write it down, he don't get paid for it. If he don't do it right, he don't get paid for it.
And that's hard, and it takes discipline on your part to see that he does it.
I'm very proud of him. He's taking responsibility.
But it starts with you. You're the one doing it right. Like, I had so many parents that had all these problems, and then I'd say, well, you're the one that has to change. And they wanted me to just say, well, the kid's broken, fix him. I'm like, well, he's broken because of you.
Yeah.
And they don't want to hear that.
Ooh.
I mean, they'd rather me tell them that their kid had autism than me tell them you need to change your life. I mean, we're like, well, I'd rather him have autism, or you tell me he's bipolar. I'm like, well, I don't believe in that crap, so I'm not going to tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, but that's what you deal with, man. And it's just like the food stuff. If you want to fix that stuff, you change your lifestyle, and the problem goes away.
That's the truth of it.
You treat it with all these external things and you say you're broken, well, then you're never going to get better. You're going to be treating a symptom for the rest of your life. Change the lifestyle that's causing the problem.
That's it.
You won't have the problem.
Won't have that problem anymore.
They don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that.
That's what we've talked about over the last several shows, just getting into the food thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just we wait for a problem and then we try to fix it with medicine, drugs, meds, you know, get all that in there instead of actually going to the source of the problem.
We do.
And the source of the problem is the food and everything that we're putting in our body. We're just getting the consequences of our own choice.
Dude,
but nobody wants to make that choice. Nobody wants to make that conscious. This one hamburger ain't going to kill me.
You're right, but
eventually, you know, the one cigarette ain't going to kill you either. But
it all leads to another downside, and it's not that where you're going to get your life and get pure. But when he reveals something, I mean, dude, you've seen it. Like, I mean, over the last, when I was on the radio and doing different stuff, I'd gained a certain amount of weight. I wasn't fat or anything, but I wasn't me. I wasn't happy with where I was at. But you saw that I lost weight, got back in shape, but I still wasn't completely eating everything right. Yeah. In the last 2 months, man, I haven't had anything but a whole food, nothing, no processed food, no sugar. It's not a diet. It's a change of lifestyle. I grow all this stuff. I'm just not eating any of the other stuff. I've never seen I didn't think at age 40 that I could see my abs again.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was impossible. I really did. I haven't seen the full abs since I'm 17, you know, because I started eating a bad food, went to college, drinking beer, eating pizza. And then I still wasn't fat, but I could see that I had a 2-pack instead of a 6-pack.
Yeah.
You know,
things began to change.
But dude, what I want to say before I push you on this is any dude over 40 that's listening to this, that's given up, that says I think you get older and you can't do it. It's a lie. I can see all 6 of those now after 2 months of eating completely right. It's all you have to do, but you have to do it. You can't eat the other stuff. And I promise you, if you do it, you will see results that will blow you away. I exercised even when I was, had a gut, and it wouldn't go away no matter how hard I worked. And that was why I thought I'd resign myself to believe in the worldly lie that, well, I guess this is just what happens when you get 40.
Yeah.
it's diet. That's the whole issue. It's just like
what
the
you put in.
word stuff. You want to get right with Jesus, change your lifestyle, and then it all falls into place. But you have to actually
do it.
You have to believe it.
It's a day-to-day thing. It ain't just, well, I'm going to do this today, and then tomorrow just throw it all out the window.
And
today I'm going to read, but I don't need to read the rest of the week.
And don't you think that hinges on belief? Like, something clicked in me where I really did believe it. I was like, okay, I know that is right. That's what the word says. So if I do this, and I really believed it, so I held to it. It wasn't just a diet or some stuff that I'm tinkering around with. Well, I really believed it. And it's like that with Jesus, man. If you really believe it, you're gonna do it. If you don't really believe it, and you're not, you'll fall away.
Yeah.
If you really believe that the other stuff isn't cool, you're not gonna feel cool eating that cheese. It's not gonna. Now a handful of blueberries is more satisfying to me than a double cheeseburger. And I was like the hamburger dude. I love a hamburger.
Yeah, big old juicy hamburger.
But I don't.
Yeah, I've got out of that too. I just stay away from red meat.
So anyway, dude, enough of the intro talk and me saying stuff. I always talk a lot on all these shows. So last show, listen.
We both. I mean, it's just whatever he leads. It ain't like
but
either
sometimes
one of us
I get really fired up with
blow it
so,
out.
That's
what it's all about.
Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? But man, you've been cliffhanging us, dude. You've been cliffhanging us for many months now, and the last show cliffhanged again, and I didn't push you on it. So what in the heck happened in Richmond?
In Richmond.
See, I know, so I can let you slide, but there's been a couple other people said something like, dude, when are you going to say what's going to happen? So I don't really have a lot today, so let it be the Daniel show. Just tell me.
It to be the Daniel show.
Tell me, dude. I'm just going to kick back over here and relax. And,
I need your. you
know me. I can't. I will be interjecting.
We're both like that. We're all just up on it.
But I can't wait. I mean, just roll this freaky deaky story out, and I mean, it's freaky deaky.
Yeah, it's one of the weirdest points of my life.
I mean, be real with it. You're covering some taboo, freaky stuff. I mean, I don't know if you probably know parents are listening with their kids, but this might not be one at this point where you want to have
it's definitely a warning there. Right here.
So,
definitely a warning.
Don't listen with a kid.
Don't have a kid listening to this.
This is for adults.
Yeah. Because I need to get into detail. I mean, you don't know the experience, still won't be able to experience the experience I had, but it's, without the detail, you kind of miss the point.
Well, if you wouldn't be being real, and it would lackluster.
Just kind of. I'm still gonna go. I think maybe kind of around. I don't know really how to explain it without getting too.
Well, in the sex show, we went straight for it. So just go straight for it. Go for the jugular.
Yeah,
and
happens.
Whatever happens. But unpack it, man. You went to Richmond for a work. Seminar kind of thing, training
for a whole week,
continuing education, and staying in a hotel like you do when you go to a conference, and so the
conference was actually in the hotel, and it's a very nice hotel, and they got it all set up, and it's really nice.
So you go into the hotel, you're ready for your week of
to
train me up,
yeah.
And your first night there, this happens. What you got?
Well, I had planned on. I actually took this Bible with me. I got it the week before, and and I said I'm going to start reading that
new ESV.
Yeah, it was like January 10th, I believe it was. And I said, I'm going to start reading this Bible. It's going to start out in the New Testament and work my way through that, and then go back to the Old Testament and work my way through that for this year. And now I'm in Esther. Praise the Lord. Just kind of not trying to get off the subject.
I could talk about Esther forever. Don't bring that up, or we'll get on Mordecai and Haman.
Oh, Mordecai.
Vashti.
Mordecai.
Vashti.
So, anyway, I had planned to get into it that night. I'd got my room, and there was two other people with me, and we're all in separate rooms. They were on down the hall. They had two rooms beside each other, and I had a room toward the front of the hall. I had went previously last summer for another week of a seminar for the entire week, a bunch of classes going on all week long. And this is the second part of it, so I was going up there to finish it off. And I got another room there, and I enjoyed the room the last time, and so I'd kind of requested that I'd get the same kind of room because I had a really nice room. And so they're like, yeah, this wasn't the original room I was supposed to get. When I got there, they switched it up, and so I could get similar to the original room I had back in the summer. And so they put me in this room, and I had went in there and gotten ready for the night, got everything settled in. We'd already went out to eat and all that, and got everything settled and come back, and then come back again and got in the room. I said, I want to take me a bath. They got one of them big old bathtubs in there, and I was like, man, hardly ever get to take a bath. We got a bathtub at the house, but I'm 6'5".
Right.
And so, it's a little bit of a scrunch.
Said Calgon, take me away.
Yeah, and I was by myself.
That's another thing, man. Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand beside you anymore when we take a picture, because I'm almost 6'2". And I look like one of them short guys when I stand beside you. It's like Everybody Loves Raymond, that dude on Everybody, that big giant. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like I'm going to have to stand on a bucket or something to hang out with you, because I'm a tall guy, and then I look like I'm one of these, Tom Cruise types, standing by you. So,
poor old Tom.
Oh, I don't have a complex about anything like that, though, but I am over 6'1", so
that's cool, man.
Who cares? Anyway, I just wanted to say it, because you are a tall guy. Yeah. So you get down in this big bathtub.
I'm all up
like,
in the tub.
I need a Calgon moment.
Calgon, take me
away from the wife and kids. I'm just going to get some rest and relaxation.
I even got the old washcloth out and got it all hot and put it on my face,
right.
And
you
it's
were
just one of them hot. Yeah, I like a hot bath. I mean, just hot.
Yeah,
hot.
man.
Just barely could step in
Your
that
own
thing.
Spa.
Then you sit down, it's like
so hot that it almost feels cold. That's when you got some heat.
That's some heat going on right there, and it's unlimited. You go to a hotel and the heat doesn't run out. You just keep on. I mean, you can take a hot shower for 45 minutes if you can stand it.
Pretty cool.
And so I'm in this thing, just planning on taking that bath and then just chilling out and crashing on out and getting ready to get started. I had to get up at 6 o'clock the next morning. And going down there and register and all that junk, and get ready for it started that next morning on Monday morning and ready to go. And I was going to read a little bit before I crashed out. Finally crack open the Bible in Matthew, and sitting there, laying there in the bathtub, phone started ringing to the actual hotel, not my cell phone. And I was like, what in the world? Nobody knows. I mean, just got here. Nobody knows the hotel number. So it rings, and I'm just laid up in the tub. I'll try to figure out whoever that was. They'll call my cell phone if it's anybody that really knows me. We'd exchange numbers with the two people that I'd come up there beforehand. One that had the cell phone, I exchanged my number so we could text back and forth and meet in the lobby that next morning and stuff like that, if we ever needed to get a hold of each other. So didn't think nothing about it. Went on to finishing the bath, got out, dried off, and all that stuff. I don't want to go into extreme detail. So I come out, and the phone started ringing again when I was drying off. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So I go in there, and about the time I get in there, the phone stops ringing again. So I check my cell phone. There's nothing on the cell phone. I was like, well, somebody would call my cell phone. So I was like, I don't know what number they were in, what room they were in. So I text the guy that I exchanged the number. I was like, hey, did you call me? He was like, no. And I was like, you think the other person called me? And I don't want to give out no names. And they were like, I don't know. And I was like, well, what's their number? I don't know their cell phone number. I said, well, what's the room number? They're right beside me. So here's the room number. So I called down there, and I was like, hey, did you call? Because I wanted to make sure, everything was okay. My wife and everybody else would have called my cell phone. They didn't even know what room or hotel or anything I was in.
Right.
And I'd already been talking to them previous and letting them know I was settling down for the night and whatever. And so I called them. They were like, no, I didn't call you. And I was like, okay, it's just wrong number. I guess it's just ringing or whatever. And so I go over there, just kind of lounging around and crack open the Bible and start reading. I think the TV was on, but I turned it. The football game was on. I remember actually turned on the TV, and it was already on a football game. I just turned that down and started reading, just kind of something playing in the background. Sure. This is like dead quiet in a motel room. I mean, dead quiet. And so I'm sitting there reading the Bible, and in the next room, I noticed when I got the room that there was a door on my left. Right when you walked into the hotel room, there was a door in the wall to the left that connected to the left-hand side. Adjoining room, rooms, yeah. And when you fully walked in, there was the big bed right there, and there was a door beside the bed to the adjoining the next room on the right.
So all of them could line up.
Yeah, all of them could line up. You open the door. 3 doors, yeah. One out, one to the hall, and one to the right room, one to the left room.
Gotcha.
And so the one to the right room, I started hearing like a and I was just like, there must be some people over there fussing or fighting or something, because it had to be fairly loud for me able to hear them. And I was just like, what is that racket? And it's like dead quiet in the room. I'm sitting there trying to read, and it would go off. They would say something like maybe every minute. And I was just like, what in the world?
Right.
So I stood up and I walked around the front of the bed to look at the door. I knew it was coming from the adjoining door into the next room there. And I looked, and I could see a light under the door. I had like one lamp on in the room, my room, and I could see a light like shining from under the doorway.
Which let me just stop you there for a second. That is weird in and of itself. That I know why they have the hotel adjoining rooms, but why can you see underneath the door into your next room? That's weird. Like, if they're doing that, that isn't, I mean, I know I've been in those places, but it's not cool that, I mean, I'm not trying to share that space with someone right next to, I mean, cover that to where I can't look under the door and see any light, or, I mean, shut the door, right? I mean, but anyway, so that's weird enough in itself. You can see light from underneath the room into the next
I've never had a hotel room that had an adjoining door in there. I've seen them on movies and stuff like that, but I've never had a door.
A lot.
And I've stayed in a lot of hotels and motels in my life, but I've never had an adjoining door
I can remember. Those conference type hotels. When I worked in Atlanta, every conference it'd be that, because they would open up all those doors and all that mess.
Yeah, even the previous room that I had the following summer didn't even have an adjoining door. Here we go.
I didn't mean to get you off track, but you see a little bit of light under the door.
Yeah, I mean, it was full bar of light that right there, and I was just like, man, that's weird. It's right there at the, it goes into their room right there. I've never had that before, so I was just like, man, they can hear everything I say. I can hear everything that they're saying. I'm sitting there listening to like, what are they actually talking about? Because I thought they was in there fussing, or they was pretty loud. So I was like listening, like, what are they saying?
Sure.
I wasn't putting my ear to the door or nothing, but I was just like, it's kind of making sure that the door was locked. It did have a deadbolt on it, and the other one did too. Because I was, it's kind of I'm packing. Right. Everywhere I go, I'm packing. Right. But still, it's just kind of creepy. I'm like, man, that's just a door right there.
Sure.
And I said, well, I guess they got a door too, but they could open their door and just, kind of whatever. I'm going to knock somebody out, but I don't think anybody's going to be coming in here.
Right.
So I'm going back over there, and I start reading again. It ain't doing, there's no more noises or whatever. And and I put the Bible up and lay on the bed, and I'm sitting there kind of still wide open. I've had me some coffee earlier or whatever, and I'm excited about the week. We're getting ready to get going again. I had such a great time.
New environment and all that.
Yeah, it's just always really cool. I mean, I had a really excellent time in the summer learning all this stuff and just doing different things and exercises and all this, and during the different classes and everything. I was
ready to get going.
Wired up, we got to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's already like 10:30, 11 o'clock now. And lay in the bed, and I'm sitting there like watching CNN or whatever. I'm like turning to the news and, take my glasses off or whatever and just kind of lay back trying to fall asleep.
Right.
And I'm sitting there, laying there watching TV, and I hear, hello? 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 And I was just like, there's that noise again. I guess they're in there talking. I still thought it was 2 people. I don't know, it still could have been 2 people, but I was just like, what in the world? And it went on for probably about 5 or 6 minutes. And I was just like, what? So I crawled over the bed, they're in my boxers, crawled over the bed, and I like look over at the door, I'm like standing on my hands with my legs on the bed, and I'm looking at the door. And I look down, and there's like
a hilarious scene. Yeah. Thinking of your legs on the bed, you're sitting there like.
I was like,
great.
I didn't want to get out of bed. I was tired,
Sure.
I was like, there, like, what in the world?
Right.
So I'm looking at the door, and there's a light still shining, and I hear this like, hello, just right at the door.
Right.
And I was just like, what the crap,
right,
man? And so I start letting my arms down like a push-up, and I'm like looking under the door there, and I noticed that there's so much light coming through now that their door is actually open.
Gotcha.
They have that door,
Sure.
their side of the door is
double
open.
door, yeah.
And there's like a foot
right,
or a nightstand table leg or something right in the corner. It's blocking out a little section of the light that I didn't notice before, and I'm like, is that a foot?
Right.
And I'm like looking real close. I'm like getting close as I want to get because I'm afraid it's going to jump and I'll scream like a girl. It's like a snake, and I'm like, is that a foot? And I'm trying to look, under the door crack, and I'm like, is that a foot? And it never moves.
Right.
And so I'm like, screw this. I'm going back to bed. So I just get back up. There's no more noises, and I'm laying there, and I'm just laying there, and I'm like, I gotta look and see if that moved. It's just eating at me. I'm just laying
it's
there.
Like you're in
by this time,
an Alfred Hitchcock film. Like you're
I'm
you're
trying
literally
to
like the room with a view, and you're
and this second
transfixed.
time that I'm sitting there actually watching CNN or news, whatever it is, Fox, and I could actually hear them say what I could make out was a hello, like hello, hello, and I was just like. So this time it wasn't...
Which I got to stop you there. Freaky deaky, because you're trying to be left alone. And
are they talking to me or are they talking to each other? And I'm kind of getting that they're talking to me now because it's like right at the door.
Scary.
Yeah, and it was just like, am I going to have to hurt somebody?
Right.
Because, I can't put up with this idiot. I'm not going to be able to put up with an idiot. Hopefully it's just a teenager and their parents are over there and maybe they tell them to shut up or something. Right now your flags are... red flag is starting to go up to say might be a little weird. Yeah. So anyway, they're just idiots.
Hello.
So I come back and I'm laying there for about 10 minutes. There's no more hellos. There's no more anything. And I'm laying there, but the thing that's getting me is that little whatever that was. Was it a foot? Was it a nightstand near the door? That because I didn't have a nightstand and it wouldn't be near the door.
Exactly.
So what was that near the door, under the door? And I'm like, if it's still there. I wonder if it's still there. And then some time went by, 10, 15 minutes, I don't know.
Right.
And so there I go again. I go crawling over the bed. I'm trying to sleep, but this is just driving me crazy. Like, what was this?
Sure.
I go across the bed. I'm climbing across the bed again. I'm doing the legs on the bed, the hands on, and the push-up. And I go down. It's gone.
You're in downward dog.
I'm downward dog. Yeah. I'm doing the push-up. It's gone.
Gotcha.
Whatever was standing near the door is gone. I guess it was a foot.
Some dude standing right at your door,
at the door,
trying to engage you.
I don't know. So anyway, all right. I go back. I'm laying in the bed, and I'm sitting there like, man, it's just some, just weird,
Right. You're unsettled.
Some idiot.
Yeah. Unsettled, but trying to sleep.
I finally go, I'm crashing out. I'm sitting there, I turn up the TV a little bit, and I switched it to a movie.
Forget about it.
Yeah, I switched it to a movie or whatever. It really wasn't bothering me. I just knew it was some idiot over there. I'm like, he's going to come in here. He ain't going to be able to get through the door.
Right.
I mean, if he does try to get through the door, he don't want it to be his last door he goes through.
Right.
I'm not worried about anybody. And so,
but still, you don't like it.
And I don't want to hurt anybody either. I mean, really, literally, I don't want to hurt anybody.
Of course.
I mean, my flesh, the old ways of way I used to be it would have changed right then. I'm trying to hold myself back. I'm just like praying about it. I'm like, Lord, I hope this is just, it's just some idiot. Please just help him, and help me just, forget about him.
And all that.
There's no anxiety or anything.
Right.
So I go off to sleep and just passing out. I think the last time I looked at my watch was almost midnight. And I was like, I can get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm gone. I'm passed out. Next thing I know, phone's ringing. The room phone.
Right.
I'm like, what? Where am I at? And I'm not even, and I'm like, I look at my watch and I ain't got no contacts or glasses on or nothing. I look and it's like I think it was 2:40 in the morning, 2:04. I can't even remember now. Like, what the world? Something done happened. So I reach over and I grab the phone. I put it up to my face. I don't even say anything. I just held it up. Like, I know they'll know I answered it. So let's see. I don't say hello. I don't say anything.
Right.
I'm just listening. And then I put cause I'm like waking up, so I'm like heavy breathing, like in the middle of a dream. Then all of a sudden the phone's ringing, so I cover the phone thing up.
You don't want to reverse stalk your stalker.
So I'm listening real close. I mean, I thought maybe it was the front desk, and I figured somebody'd go, hello, because you hear somebody answer, you're going to say hello.
And it's 2 in the morning.
It's 2 in the morning.
I mean, who's calling?
So I'm like listening, it's I remember now, it was 2:04. It was 2:04, it wasn't 2:40. And so I'm listening to the other end, and nothing's being said, and I'm like shaking, and I'm getting ready to like cuss somebody because I'm just like, what the, calling me 2:00 in the morning. I gotta get up at 6.
Now you're getting angry.
I'm getting angry now, and I'm still not putting 2 and 2 together what's actually going on here. So I'm listening, and all of a sudden I hear, oh yeah, and I go like, what the hell? And I slam the phone down. I mean, I slam it and I slam it and I slam it down again. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. What in the world?
Right.
What in the world? And so I lay back down. I'm sitting there. I'm like wide awake now. I'm like, what? Some just random person called me and woke me up just to do that. I mean, how stupid is that? And I was sitting there like, do I call the front desk and say, can you trace that number? Or, I'm sitting there just like, well, forget it. I'll just go back to sleep or whatever. So I get up, I go use the bathroom, and I come back in there, and I'm like, there's a desk in the room. It's really nice hotel room, and they got a desk and it's like a really nice desk with a little office chair, a little swivel chair, and that's where I was reading. I had my Bible still laying there. I left it there the whole week, and I was sitting there, and I was like, what in the world? I said, I got to go back to sleep here. I just go get back into bed. I was trying to calm down, drinking some water and chilling out. And, me.
It's a yeah. It'll pull it out of you. I mean, you have to put yourself back in that place to be able to tell the story.
I'm getting nervous now.
Well, I can tell it's a little painful
like idiot
for you.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there, and about that time I hear, hello, coming from the next room again. I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah.
In other choice words. I was like, I was getting teetotally upset.
Well,
like, I was thinking about literally going into the next room.
Well, sure.
I was going to open that door is what was going to happen. I was going to literally go over there and open the door.
Confrontation.
So I got up and I went over there and looked. I just walked over there this time and I looked, and their door was still open. On their adjoining door was open. The light was coming through, and I stood there and I heard, hello, hey, hello, hey, you want to come over here? You want to come over here? And I was just like, what do I do?
Right.
I mean, I was like,
that's a come to Jesus moment. You either react in the flesh or you go to Jesus and like,
oh man,
I'm freaked out.
Well, I was praying, man. I was sitting there. I mean, in my mind, I was just like, Lord, help me, because I want to open that door. I mean, and if I open that door, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if whoever that is, or if it's more than one person, or whoever's going to come jumping out, or what I'm going to see when I open the door, or what I'm going to do when I open the door.
Don't open the door.
Don't open the door is what kept going through my mind. I mean, it was just my flesh wanted to open the door, or actually go out and go and knock on their door on the other side, from the hallway.
That's a pretty powerful point right there. If you can just stop and you can breathe and take some water in. A lot of times, man, Satan has given us some weird stuff, like figuratively, and we shouldn't open the door, and our curiosity gets the better of us, and we just want to see what's on the other side, and it's never a good thing.
No.
If you open that door, it's not good. Either they're going to want something from you that you're not going to want to give. They're going to hurt you in some way.
Yeah.
What good would come of that? You end up hurting them.
So many scenarios went through my brain. It wasn't even funny.
So if you're listening, don't open the door, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Like, don't open the door.
I'm sitting there looking at my watch, and it's like 2:30 now.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting here putting up with this bull crap. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah. So he's talking to you there, trying to get the hello. I mean, what do? Do you keep ignoring him at this point?
I ignored him again, and I went back and I sat down in the chair, and I was sitting there like debating what I should do. I'm like, am I going through the door like I want to? Am I going to the hallway and beating on the door? Am I just going to scream? I was just getting ready just to freaking scream.
Right.
Or do I go downstairs and let them know,
sure,
what's going on or whatever? And so I felt more like I don't know the word, a puss going down there and actually telling them about it. I'd rather handle it myself.
Well, that's kind of how
I'm sitting there trying to pray about it, like, which way should I go with this?
Yeah.
And so it kind of stops. And then I put, I sit back down in the chair, and I'm sitting there I'm still kind of got some anxiety going on, but it's going away. And I'm just like, well, maybe they'll shut up.
Sure.
And I still hadn't put two and two together that they were the ones that called me.
Right. You're thinking,
and
man, this is a bad part of town.
I started slowing down, and then I started realizing they were the ones that called me at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
In order to wake me up so I could hear them do what they were getting ready to do next.
Right.
And also I started putting two and two together that they were the ones that called me when I was in the bathtub the original time, about 8:30 or 9 o'clock that night.
Right.
And I never got to the phone then when it rang twice that first time. And so I was sitting there, and the Bible was there. I was reading some of the Bible, and of course I was praying. I had got on my knees and was like, Lord, please, take this anxiety away from me. This thing has got control over me. I'm wanting to do something that I know it's nothing good's going to come out of me opening that door.
Right.
Because I have a pistol. I have a handgun, and I was going to hold
and
that handgun.
I mean, even if I didn't have the pistol,
nothing
you're
good
6'5", and
yeah.
I mean,
that was kind of the last resort thing. I was just going to warn them. I'm going to kill nobody or shoot them. But
you and I have both done that, and unless you're serious about following that thing
exactly,
through,
you don't show the gun.
There's no need.
Yeah, I'm not going to ever pull a gun on anybody. I'm not going to shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
So if somebody comes to me and I got a gun, it's going to be its own.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's on. But I mean, I got to be in serious threat. That wasn't really threatening. It was more of agitation.
Right.
And I was still resorting back to my flesh of, in agitation, I want to rumble.
Well, you get so angry, you want to make it stop. And you want to say, you're invading my rights, and now I'm going to put you in your place and show you what's what.
Exactly. And I wanted to overcome that.
But that's not right either.
It's not. I wanted to overcome that. I was sitting there like, what would Jesus do? And I'm like,
yeah.
It was a real tough situation.
One of the hardest. This is like real life Christianity. What do? When you're faced with things like this, you can't just leave Jesus out. What do? How do you hold to it? And you're doing it. You're working it out. So you're praying to him, asking him to help you. 2:30 in the morning. Hello. You know what's going on. You've pieced together the puzzle, and now you know Freaky Deaky is beside you. And what do? You could take it into your own hands, smack him around, then you get in trouble. So, okay, Jesus, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Really, Jesus.
I mean,
not just in theory, but like right now.
I don't need this answer tomorrow. I'm going through this right now,
Yeah.
And I mean, it got me. I was on my knees. I was on the bed, and I was praying, man, and I was just. Because old feelings were coming back.
Sure.
I mean, and you want to just. It's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like this is
violated. You're violated.
It's like this is my privacy. This is this idiot. I mean, this is beyond idiot. Here's saying somebody just cut me off in traffic, and I can get over it.
Right. This is
the next
ongoing.
stoplight. I don't even remember.
Ongoing.
Yeah. Once they turn right and I go straight, I don't even remember that even happened.
Exactly.
But now I'm sitting here living beside this thing.
Sure.
and having to put up with it. And I'm like, got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's really what's going through my head. It's pissing me off.
Someone propositioning you who at this point we don't know if he knows you're a male or a female.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a female and he's propositioning, I guess it's even way more scary.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but so it's still pretty scary.
I'm thankful it was me. Yeah. I am thankful. I learned a lot from it, and screw Satan.
But doesn't it get worse?
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse. And so, but you know, I'm thankful that it was a man, me, instead of a female, because I was when I went up there to this thing for the week, there was 43 women and 4 men. Ended up being 3 men, but it started out with 4 men.
Right.
And so, it could have easily been a woman. And I think that this weirdo thought it was.
Right.
You know, because I never said anything. I don't think I ever spoke.
Right.
I never
But look,
spoke.
To be honest.
Except for the phone. Yeah, I did speak on the phone. If he
didn't know, he had to not care which one it was.
Well, that's true. He didn't. Because he heard me on the phone.
He didn't even know you might have been a pup. Y'all looked into that. The world is stupid. Going off the cliff.
It has.
So go on, man. I didn't go on.
So it stops. I mean, I don't hear anything, and I'll like look over there. The light's still on. I don't see any movement, because there was a couple of times I went over there and looked down just to see if I seen like somebody walking around in front of the door. Or even when they were speaking, I couldn't see nobody near the door or whatever. And went back up there and sat in the chair for a while, and it was kind of chilled out, and then went there and washed my face off or whatever, and so, well, I'm just going to go lay back down. I don't know, just some idiot or whatever. I'm just trying to forget about it. And I lay back down in the bed, and I don't even think I never did turn the lights on. It was just the TV light was on in the room. I never did turn the lamp or anything on. I just laid back down in the bed, and it was still all dark. And I lay there in the bed, and then I hear from the next room, I don't know how else to say it, but it was
Lord, give him the words.
Skin hitting each other. It was a flapping noise. It was a, and then I hear
that makes me angry for you.
Oh man, I was like enraged. It was really enraged. I mean, this come back, all kinds of stuff come back to me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I jumped up, and I got my clothes on. It was still in the dark, and this was heading toward 3 a.m. now. And I got my clothes on. It was still doing it over there.
Dude was over there singing that song, It's 3 a.m., I must be lonely.
I don't know what's going on, man. And he was saying different things while he was making that noise. After a while, it was just the flapping, and then all of a sudden it was just
disgusting. Man.
Yeah, I was sitting there putting on my clothes. I was like really quickly putting on my clothes, because I was like, I'm going down. I got to say something. I got to switch rooms. Sure. I got to do something. I'm going to end up hurting this dude. I mean, really, this is the borderline hit. I mean, I've held myself back. I'm really going to hurt somebody.
You're at the point where you got to get away.
I could feel. I saw red, man. I mean, really, I saw red.
Yeah.
And I went over there to the closet, and I was like trying to get my shirt off. I didn't put all my collared shirts up in the closet right there and they got the hangers are hooked to the rail.
Sure.
And the door is right there, and the light, and I could see like a shadow walking back and forth under the door right there where he was right at the door.
Dang it.
And I was sitting there like, you son of a... And I got my phone out of my pocket, because he was still making noises, and I started filming a video. I was like, I want video evidence of this, because I'm going to go down there. I might have to call the law, or tell them downstairs this is what's going on in the next room. So I was sitting there videoing, and he was just sitting there saying all this stuff, and it was to a woman what he was saying. I mean, it was very graphic stuff. I want to F you, and just all kinds of different
I really
stuff.
would have. I'm glad you didn't open the door, but I would have loved to seen the look on his face if he thought you were some pretty little woman and you opened the door up. He would see.
It wouldn't last long. I mean, at that point, I knew.
I think the guy wouldn't care.
I don't think he would have cared either.
What you're saying,
he would have cared when I grabbed him, because the point of me opening the door, and then there wouldn't be no staring.
Well, sure.
I was ready to charge. And that's why I was like, I gotta get out of here.
You had to.
I had.
That was
this
the
point,
only choice.
This was the only choice
right
now.
Choice
to make. To go down and do it that way, because
it's the only right choice to make.
Yelling wouldn't have solved the problem. Opening the door would have been, I'd been in jail, lost my job, wouldn't have made it to the thing.
Only right choice you had.
Yeah, it had been all kinds of a disastrous mess. And so I'm sitting there filming the sucker, and I'm just like, I got to go. I mean, I was just sitting there. I filmed enough to get the evidence of it, and I was like, you jerk. So he's still saying this. I go over there and open the door, shoot down the hallway, go over there, and I'm like hitting the elevator button. Because I was like, if I run in front of his door, he might see me leaving or come out. I don't know if this dude's a freak. I mean, I know he's a freak,
right?
But he might be a super weirdo.
You don't know how big
I don't
he
know.
is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who he is or anything. I'm thinking he's going to jump out one of these movies. He's going to jump out of the motel room, and here he comes.
Packing, so he might be packing.
He might be packing too. I mean, we might be sitting there. Yeah. I mean, ain't even telling.
Might be standoff at the OK Corral, man. You and Freaky,
or catch me off guard, and there he has control of me with his gun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, when you're in that position, all those things flash through your
it was head. I mean, it was just rolling through my head. I mean, it was just like a movie. It was like a movie. And I'm go down there and I'm like mashing the elevator button. I'm like, come on. Just like one of those movies. Come on.
Like Sleeping with the Enemy.
The room was like right around the corner. I mean, it was literally, you could open the door just 3-4 foot and you could see the elevator. So I was like, elevator, come on, elevator, come on. Right. And I had my left hand under my shirt, which was holding, I was ready to go.
Right.
So anyway, the elevator comes up and I get in there and I go down there and I'm like, dude, I'm well dressed, but I just had woke up. My hair's like I could feel it waving.
You're looking like Gumby.
Oh, it was bad. It was like, hey, Arnold. My hair was just all over the place.
Right.
And, but I had the nice clothes on. I had brand new clothes I was going to wear actually to the conference. I was dressing up and I come down there and they're like, can I help you, sir? And you wouldn't believe it. Yes, you can help me. I need another room now. She's like, what seems to be the problem? I said, I have a lunatic next door to my room. I said, if I don't get to switch rooms, there's going to be an accident tonight, and it's going to be me hurting him.
Well, sir, do I need to call the... And she started like thinking
she thought I was she was getting ready to call the law on me because I'm like freaking out. And I'm sitting there like,
sir, don't lose
calm down.
Sir, don't lose your cool.
You calm down, sir. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, I need to calm down. What exactly is going on? I said, I need another room. There's somebody in the next room next to me that's got their door open, and they're making noises, and they've called my room and woke me up in the middle of the night so I could hear those noises. Yeah, he's molesting himself and doing all this weird stuff. And I said, I am going to hurt them. And so she was just like, security, can you come over here?
You're getting ready to get taken away while Chester the molester's up there, man, left. I don't mean to make light of that word.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. So here comes security over there, and he's like, is there a problem, sir? And I was like, yeah, I need to move out of my room. I need another room, or I'm just going to leave. I said, I can't handle it anymore.
Right.
I've lost my wits. It's 3:00 in the stinking morning. Now it's like 3:20 in the morning. And I said, I'm going to hurt the person beside of me unless I don't get another room. Oh, there's no problem. We can get you another room. No, we don't want you to, go any further with that. Do we need to call the law? And I was just like, what can you do?
Right.
Can you call the law? What do you say? The dude's over there, whatever he's doing, he's making lewd noise. I don't know, whatever. Right. And so that the security guard was like, she was like, would you want the security guard to go up with you? We'll give you another room. They were real nice. Sure. They got me another card and said, here's the card to the room, and you want him to come up there and help you move.
They deal with that kind of crap all the time, man.
And I was just like, yeah, please have him come up there because I don't know what I'm going to do. It's not for my protection, it's for his protection because literally, it's got to the point. It's got to the point to where dude better not come out of his room when I go back up there.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
And so I go back up, and we walk by, and I'm like, right there's the room. And I said, look, I'm not going to say much when I go in here. I don't want him to know who I am or what room I'm going to, so please don't say nothing.
Because you're having a feeling he's going to be at the conference with you, probably sitting there. He's in the conference. So
okay, yeah. I gotta backtrack. Yeah, because I forgot about that. I'm glad you said that. I was standing there. She was waiting for the security.
You're like, this guy's probably going to be my group leader tomorrow.
I didn't even think nothing about it until I was down there, and she was calling the security guard, and he was on his. She said he'll be on his way here in just a second. I don't know what he was eating or something backside of the building. I don't know. So I'm standing there, and she's like, "What room is it?" And I said, it was the one beside of me. So she was like, oh, it's blank 22. And I was like, yeah. And she said, she's looking at him. She goes, wow, you wouldn't think with somebody of that profession would be acting like that and going to the conference tomorrow. And I was like, what did you just say? And she said that somebody would be going to the conference. I said, I'm here for a conference tomorrow. And she's like, oh, yeah, they are too. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
In the business that I'm in, they're in that business.
Well, that's
freak.
Scarier and crap.
And I was like, I got to be in the, the whole week in the conference with this, whoever this is. I said, that ain't going to work. As soon as I find out who it is, that ain't going to be a good thing either.
Right.
Because I need to be way far away from whoever this is, because I'm going to hurt them. Right. I mean, really, I done made up my mind. If I see them, they're going to get hurt. Right. And I'm sorry. I'm praying through this real hard, but my flesh is way overtaken anything at this point. And so then I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was one of the conversations that we had with her. And then the security guard comes over.
Which makes it even more whacked out.
I was sitting there like, you got to be kidding me. All week up here with this freak.
Right.
And so go back up there, go past the room, get in there and getting all my stuff. In there in the room, I'm just packing up my stuff, and taking it down the hall, way toward the end of the halls where they put me. And carrying all my stuff in there. And at one point, I'm in there, and the security guard's standing in there in front of my bed, and I'm sitting there packing some of my stuff up, and we hear, oh yeah, oh. I said, do you hear that? Do you hear that? Right. I'm like whispering to him. I said, do you hear that? Right. He's like, yeah, I hear it. I said, there's nothing you can do. Right. I said, it's 3:30 in the morning, and I'm the one that's having to move.
Right.
And that freak is just over there doing that. He's like, I'm sorry, sir. I mean, there's really nothing besides me going and beating on his door and asking him to please calm down. I can't really do anything. I said, screw it.
Right.
I mean, I was like throwing stuff.
Sure.
And wasn't saying nothing. I was trying to still keep the voice down. He was sitting there listening to it. He was just shaking his head like,
which just shows why I don't like interacting in the world, our society. Like, you're the one that has to move because someone doesn't want to confront. I mean, it wasn't your place to confront them because you don't own the hotel. But to me, someone that does that, and when the security guard hears it, you kick them out of the hotel.
Yeah.
Period.
Bye.
They're a danger to your other guests.
Yeah.
But see, we live in a world that says, well, if that's what
tolerate,
well, what are we going to do? I mean, he has the right to make noise. No, he doesn't. If he's keeping the person next door awake.
Yeah, so I move all this stuff down. I get everything out. Clean up the bathroom. Not clean it, but get all my stuff out of the bathroom. Get all that stuff down there. By this time, it's, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. He's like, everything okay? Yeah, I'm cool now. There's no, I said, make sure when I was down there with her the first time, I was like, I don't want no adjoining doors. Last summer when I come up here, I had my room did have no adjoining doors. This one did. I don't want no more. I'm not getting, never again am I getting adjoining doors to a motel room.
Yeah.
And so this one didn't. I went in there, and the security guard left, whatever, and he's like, apologizing and all this stuff. She was real nice and apologizing downstairs. Got everything all situated and set up. It's past 4 o'clock in the morning now. I got to get up in 2 hours or an hour and a half. I finally get to lay down in the bed. I'm praying. I done got on my knees again, was praying, Lord, just take this anxiety away from me. I don't know why I even have it anymore. I'm far away from all that. There's nothing else going to happen. There's, I was making sure that I didn't say
post-traumatic stress, man.
Yeah, I made sure that I didn't say the room number, and like I said, I told him in the elevator on the way up, don't say that room I'm moving into, because if he hears it, he'll be calling me in the middle of the night. He done called my room 3 times,
right?
And so what's going to stop him from calling me again? And I will go to that room. So all that was taken care of. I was like, what do I do in the morning? Do I go tell the conference leader? The person that's putting on the conference. They're in our conference. It's in my conference. They're going to be with me the rest of the week. I mean, this freak.
And they're going to be caring for the elderly.
Yes. That's what I do for a living. And so everybody in that's what they do from all over Virginia.
Is that the guy you want taking care of your mom?
Yeah. For real. We got people like that in there. Right. I mean, what? That was blowing her mind. She's like, that's they're doing that, and they're in that conference. And I'm just like, it was blowing my mind. I was like, what?
Right.
They're in the conference too? I mean, there's actually a person in this job that acts like that?
Yep.
No.
Right.
So what do? Do I go tell? I'm going to go tell them in the morning. I got to tell them. I got to go tell them. And so I get up. I mean, I get like an hour of sleep. And I wake up, I'm like feeling like dead, and I'm supposed to be all hyped up and ready to go. This is like cool classes, and I mean, it's all I want to learn, and now I've had an hour of sleep, and plus all that anxiety all night long. I'm like dead to the world.
Right.
And I get up, and I call my wife, tell her about it, and she's like, yeah, you need to tell them. So I call the people that I'm with, and I'm getting ready to meet down in the lobby. Here's what happened to me last night when we dead meet. You know, you have to look past me today because I'm not going to be on all 8 cylinders.
Right.
Whatever. I'm barely running on half a cylinder, and this is why. Whoa. Yeah, you need to tell the conference leader, and all this stuff. And I prayed about it, man. The whole time I was praying. I got up that morning, too, and was praying. And the Lord was telling me not to say anything. That if I actually wanted to follow what he wanted me to do, which was what I was wanting to do, was he was going to take care of it.
Awesome, man.
And I was just like, my flesh did not want to do that.
Right.
I was just like, well, and you get to those points, and I've had in the past, but this was a little stronger.
But you knew that he was.
Yeah, this was a little stronger. Sometimes, times in the past when I've went through that situation, I've gone, maybe it's just me saying it to myself instead of actually the Lord. You have those. But at the time and now, and I've grown closer to the Lord than I ever have in the last 2 years, especially in the last 6 months, more than 6 months now, last year, just doing the Be Reals got me closer than everything else in my life. He has. And this experience, of course, it was, don't say anything. I'm going to take care of it. And I was just like, and there's my wife telling me I need to say something.
Sure.
There's myself telling me I need to say something. There's the people I'm with. You got to say something. And there's me. I've got to say something. And there's the Lord saying, no.
Right.
Do you really trust in me?
And that happens a lot, man.
And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, is this just me? This can't be me. I know it's not me. I mean, I'm in the Word. I'm praying. I know it's not. If you know him, you know him when he speaks. You know.
Yeah.
And, I remember so many times I was confused with that. And
a lot of times because we don't like what he's saying.
Yeah, we don't like what he's saying. And it's totally opposite of what our flesh wants to do. We just I have to decrease so he can increase. And so I said, I'm trusting you. I'm going to do it. I'm not saying anything. And they couldn't believe it. I went down there and they were like, you're not going to say anything. Who is? I said, I don't even know who it is. I said, don't matter who it is. I'm not going to say anything. The Lord said he'd take care of it.
Right.
And the guy who was kind of with me, he was just like, I seen his eyes like, this guy's crazy.
Right.
I'm crazy, because I'm like
talking
to the Lord or whatever.
He's going to take care of this.
Yeah.
Right. Isn't that Christianity, though, that we believe and trust that the Lord is going to, when he speaks to us? But see, if you say that, you're weird. No, that's faith.
Yeah. I went down there and registered, and everybody was coming in. Like I said, there's about 45 people there, almost 50 people. And this guy come in, and he sat down, and this other dude come in. He was over there sitting down. And I was just looking at these guys, and I was just like, which one is it? What's weird about the situation is when I first got there on Sunday, I forgot to add this in, but I didn't think about it till later anyway. And all this stuff is coming back to memory. When I got there Sunday and I went into my room originally, the one that was beside the one that the freak was in, when I walked past the room, I heard somebody, and this was going on through the night too, like when somebody has allergies and they like blow in their nose, but they're sucking in.
It's like me. Oh no. So he was Scarfacing it over there.
It was doing that too. I forgot to add that in, but that was going on.
He's pulling a Scarface.
When I left Monday morning to go register, of course, there's my friends. They come out. I'm waiting outside their room, and they come out of their room, and we start walking down the hall. And, of course, I'm looking at that room, where he's at.
Right. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. As I'm walking by, I'm just waiting for somebody to come out of the room.
Right.
And when I'll go past the room, you can hear the shower in running. And when I was walking past the room, the shower's in there running, guess what I hear?
Lord have mercy.
And I was like, it sounds just like a stinking demon. I mean, it was just like
somebody
snorting and a demon. It was just a weird noise.
Well, it is, because our battling against flesh and blood, that is not who God made that guy to be.
I was like, what in the world? And it, you know, I hadn't noticed that, except when I first went up, I was like, man, somebody's got some allergy problems. Right. And then that morning when I walked by, and
you were like Crocodile Dundee, where you're like, hey, mate, you got some allergies? You take him, man, try and put him over some hot water, loosen him up.
I don't know what was going on with that. I don't know. So I went down there, and I was waiting for one of those. I didn't know how many dudes was in there at the time. So I was waiting for a dude to come in there sniffing. I was just like, I'm going to get him by his allergies. Right. Hopefully it's the right one. I'm going to confront somebody.
Dude, with my allergies, you would have pinned me as Chester the Molester when I'm free and innocent, man. I just got a lot. I just got a lot of pollen, brother.
But I really wasn't. I mean, the Lord's done told me.
Right.
And so, but I wanted to. I mean, I was like, I was still in that mode, man, of just, I'm going to do something. If I find out who it is, I'm going all right here in front of everybody.
Right.
All stupid.
Yeah.
And so even the guy that was with me, there was a girl, the other one was a girl, and they were sitting with me, and they were just like, which one do you think it is? Which one I mean, it was just I was like, just shut up about it. Right. You know, I don't know. And then the conference started, and I was like, it's got to be one of those two guys. It's got to be one of those two guys. And so it went on through about an hour into it. Another dude comes in. And he goes over here and sits down like a table right across from me. And I'm like looking at him. And I was just like, which one? And then one of the dudes speaks up because it's like the teacher's up there trying to involve everybody.
And that's a bad feeling too, when you think everybody's like, when you're trying to figure out who the assailant is.
I can't even concentrate, man. I'm serious. It's like a movie. I'm sitting there just like looking at everybody like, are they sleepy? Sure. Because they stayed up all night too. Right. They were doing this junk to me, and so they were up at the same time. Who's sniffing?
Everyone's
who's snorting?
A suspect.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there, I can't even concentrate on what the teacher's saying.
Right.
And so it goes on through, and I never heard anybody. I kind of ruled out one of the guys because he's from up north, like Massachusetts or something. He had an accent like all get out, and so there was no accent in the voice that I heard. And so I was just like, well, maybe I've heard people sing that have an accent, and you don't hear the accent, so maybe if they're in their weirdo voice, they don't have an accent. You know what I'm saying? I'm like sitting here detecting everybody, and we have all this, have coffee breaks and everything, and they're coming up to me, who you think it is? And I'm like, shut up. I really don't even want to talk about it no more. The Lord's going to take care of it. If I do find out, I'm scared that I will find out who it is, and then I'm glad there's like people to choose from. If it was one other guy I knew, the guy I was with, I know it wasn't him. Right. And I'm like, if it was one other guy, I'd know it was him, and so there's no telling what I would have done. Right. So I'm thankful that I don't know who it is. And they're, I'm looking at them. Sometimes they're looking at me, looking at them, and so they're thinking, ain't no telling what they're thinking. So I'm like, just get through it.
Yeah.
So we went through the day with lots of coffee because I barely made it through the day.
Right.
And I get on down, and they're like, we're going out to eat tonight. And I'm like, yeah, if you want to go out and eat, and just hurry up and get back. I'm like, but I'm dead tired. I mean, as soon as so I went back, and I was just still praying, Lord, help me not have a night like I did last night. And I read a little bit, and man, I crashed out like 9 o'clock, got some of the best sleep I've ever had. For even a while, because it's just the bed was like, it was a king size. I was by myself. Sure. I was like,
and you were just tired.
And I was wore slap out mentally, emotionally, everything.
So got some good Z's.
Got some good Z's, man. No phone calls, no,
cool.
Goodbye and good night to my wife, you know, and kids and stuff. And so I was out like a light. Next thing I know, the buzzer's going off. I'm waking up, getting dressed that morning. Still, and the Lord had lifted a lot of the anxiety off of me. I just went through it, and it was just like, well, it's over with.
Yeah.
Still walking past that room that morning, I was kind of looking over there, and I was just, kind of waiting. Didn't hear nothing from the room, no snorting and no shower or anything like that. Go on to the conference, and of course, you still... eating bagels or whatever, and they got little things out there, yogurts and stuff like that, and I had some stuff I brought with me so I wouldn't have to eat the bagels. But anyway, sitting there, and here comes the guys in and the girls. There's like 43 women and guys, and so dude that's over here at the table that come in late yesterday is late again. He's not coming in at all, and so an hour goes by, 2 hours go by. We go to our first break. That dude still ain't up here. Right. And I was like, man, he's late again today.
Right.
I'm still looking at the other guys. I know one of them's out, so there's two. There's two dudes I'm still looking at here, trying to stop thinking about them, but they're still on my mind.
Sure.
So I go walking out, and as you know, it's a big conference room, and you walk out, and the bathrooms are beside each other in the hotel room. So I'm walking out, and I'm walking beside this woman that was in the conference room too. She's sitting plumb on the other side of the room in there, and I'm walking beside her, and she turns around and looks at me as we're walking toward the bathrooms, and she goes, "Did you hear about what happened last night on floor 7?" And I was just like, or floor 8, I can't remember. It was 8, yeah, floor 8. I was like, And she was like, "You're on floor 8, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on floor 8." She said, "You didn't hear that?" I was like, "No." She said, "I seen you going up in the elevator." She was with you the other morning when we was coming down. She got on the elevator with us and knew we was all on that same floor. She said, "It was like 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I heard on my door. I thought it was the door to my motel room." And she goes, it scared me to death. She said, "I run over there and looked out the peephole, and there was a whole big bunch of cops. It was a SWAT team outside my door." She said, "So I cracked the door open, left the chain on it, or the hinge thing." She said, "I cracked that open, and the cop looked at me and said, 'Ma'am, we're not,' she goes, 'Is everything okay?' The cop says, 'Ma'am, we're not knocking on your door. We're going in this one right here. Just shut your door, and everything's going to be all right.'" She said she shut her door back, and they stormed in the next room beside of her, which was the weirdo, and grabbed him and arrested him.
Right.
And it was the FBI.
So he had a warrant or something out of it.
I don't know. It's pretty rough.
They didn't bust the door down and bring the FBI in because he was molesting
1 o'clock
himself.
in the morning, the FBI comes into your motel room and takes the dude.
Right.
This was the dude he never showed back up again. One table from me, the one that was late the first day.
The Lord took care of it.
It was gone. It was gone.
The Lord took care of it.
The Lord took care of it. It was gone. He was gone.
The Lord took care of it.
The hotel manager didn't know any of that was going on. They went up there on their own. They didn't even warn the hotel that they were coming. And they went to the conference leader and told them, because that guy was in the conference, that the FBI sent a SWAT team up there to take that person, and that he was no longer in their conference. He said, "I don't know how I'm going to tell you this, but..."
Who knows
and
what
then
the
he
dude
told
had
the woman,
been doing to the elderly.
She said that his face was white when she was telling him that. Well, she goes... she talks to me later, but she goes to the girl that I was talking to, because she was in the room right beside the weirdo too.
Right.
Adjoining room. And she said she heard weird noises, but nothing like I did, because I told her everything happened to me.
Right.
And so the woman that's over the whole conference was talking to her, and I was like, and I seen him from across the room. This was like couple of breaks later, and I was sitting there looking at her talking to each other, and I knew what they were talking about. I mean, I could just tell that's what they were talking about. All of a sudden, both of them just looked right at me, and I was just like, "She's coming over here.
Right.
She's going to be coming over here." In my mind, I was like, "She's coming over here," and there she come walking toward me. She's like, "Can I speak with you a minute?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we go over there, and she was just like, the other day, because I seen her back in the summertime, me and her had become really good friends.
Cool.
And she said she seen me Monday morning, and I said, "Just bear with me today, because I am wore slap out." I said, "I didn't get no sleep last night." I didn't tell her what for.
Right.
So when she comes over there, she pulls me to the side. She goes, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Remember yesterday morning when you said you didn't get no sleep Sunday night, and that you were wore out, and, just kind of overlook you, please forgive you, because you really was here for the class, but you wore slap out." She said, "Why didn't you get any sleep? You never told me." And she said, "But I think I got an idea." And I said, "How much time do you have?"
Right.
Because here's the story.
Yeah.
And I told her everything that I've been saying right here. And so it freaked her out too.
Yeah.
She was just like, "Whoa." And, it was really weird. The people I was with didn't really know nothing about it, and we got back, and we'd been having internet problems since we've been up there, and they've since resolved them, because I actually did a survey and told them that we'd had internet problems, and they sent me an email and said, hey, we redone our whole internet system, so please come back up here and make sure that's okay for you, because it really got on my nerves that my phone, because I do a lot of research on my phone along with reading the Bible, and the internet service was messed up. And what you had to do, and I was telling my friend about it, is your phone would connect to the internet, and then it would, the service was so bad that if you dropped the internet, if you turned your Wi-Fi off on your phone and then turned it back on, it would work the rest of the night. And so I told the guy that I was with that. And so Monday night he did that. And when he turned his Wi-Fi off and he turned it back on, it searched local things to connect to. And one of them was FBI van number 31.
No kidding.
On his phone that he could... where it wouldn't connect to. It was secure connection.
Right.
But it was on his phone. He took a screenshot of it.
That's a trip, man.
He told me about it Tuesday night after I told him, or Tuesday afternoon.
Thanks, guys, in Van 31.
Yeah. He sent me that picture. I still have that picture.
Tripped out,
but
man.
that was, I mean, he said, look at this, Daniel. After I told him the story that it was the FBI SWAT that they come up there and got the guy. And he said, I didn't think nothing about it except, whoa, I just connected to an FBI. They must have been driving by. I didn't know they were coming in on our floor arresting somebody.
Right. Wow, dude. What a story, man. I'm glad you unpacked it. I think we should name this one. I just
relived it.
I think we should name this one, What the Heck Happened in Richmond?
Richmond relived.
You know, I mean, it is...
the devil next door.
But, man, thanks for rolling it out. And, I mean, there's so many lessons there. But it was fun just to... I don't know. I think I needed this today. I needed just to hear you tell a story. So maybe someone else needs it.
But that, I mean, it I hate that it happened. I hate it that it happened, and it sounds crazy, but I'm glad it did.
Sure, agree.
I'm so thankful that it happened to me, and it wasn't one of those women. I am so thankful. Mm-hmm. But I'm thankful that it happened because it got me really closer to the Lord. It got me really thinking about that certain battle, because I've had certain battles with my flesh, but nothing like that. And number 3, total dependence and reliance upon Him, and that He will take care of the situation. Because if I did what I wanted to do,
the point of this story.
even in the hardest choice of going against what everybody told me to do, even myself, and going with what He told me to do, that He would take care of it.
That's right.
And I started going in my mind, why would He? Why? You know, He told me He was going to take care of it, and I went with Him. What if I went with everybody else? Now, if I started thinking about the choice of...
He may not have taken care of it. Van 31 may not have come.
If I went with the choice, this played through my head. This is one of the scenarios that went through my head majorly. If I went with my choice of listening to everyone, including myself, and going and tell the conference leader, and she went to that person, the weirdo, and told him...
He may have taken off before Van 31 showed up.
He might have freaked out and come in there and blasted us or something. Or
you never know.
You never know what might have happened if she confronted him, and then he would have found out who it was, or threatened her to find out who told her that. And, you know, who's telling these lies on me, knowing he done it?
Or even if he didn't do any of that and he just got scared and took off, and then he's still out running at large.
And they must have had it planned out to where they knew he was there.
Right. That's wild, dude. It really is. I mean, thanks for...
Then he would still be working at his job, maybe. I mean, you just don't never know, or went and got a job somewhere else and never had that on his record. He does not need to be around the elderly.
Right.
Or anybody. He don't need to be around anybody.
Right.
But especially now, I hope that resolved that, you know, I hope that, and it definitely, if you get arrested like that, that's definitely on your record.
That's wild, dude. What a wild experience.
Never felt
dude,
never felt to unpack it.
It took you 6 months to get it out, man, but it
just never felt it was the time, and now it's just
today was the day.
You forced me.
Well, it was time. It was time.
I needed to get that out. I had actually forgotten it. As I've told it this morning, I've relived it in my mind, and I've forgotten so many different points.
What we just did,
so
man,
I needed that.
We did a psychological debriefing.
Yeah, and I needed to go back to that, because that's been one of the most, it's the craziest point in my life. One of the craziest things I've ever went through.
Yeah.
Definitely the weirdest thing I've ever went through, and it's been one of the most learning things that I've ever been through as far as with Him, because I learned so much from Him. And if I didn't have Him, there's no telling what would happen.
Right.
If I didn't know and have that relationship with Jesus Christ, there's no, really,
And
there's
dude,
no, I don't even want to speculate what would happen.
I just want to reiterate the point of the whole story, and the whole reason we're preaching everything, man, is he will take care of it. Like, that doesn't mean that we don't have a part to play. Sometimes we have to ask him, but then whatever he says is what we do. And if you have a personal relationship, you can hear him.
Yeah.
You know what he's saying to you, and then you just obey it no matter what the cost.
Just like when I've been reading through the Old Testament here, like I said, I'm in Esther now, and I've got through Nehemiah and Ezra and First and Second Chronicles and the Kings, and it was the kings that asked him that succeeded. It was the men that followed and had that relationship with him. And when the enemy came knocking on the gate and they stepped back, instead of reacting, they stepped back and said, Lord, what is my next step? What do I do?
Yeah.
He would always give them an answer. Let me fight this for you.
I would vote for,
or go for it.
I would vote for a president if we had a guy that said, I'm going to ask Jesus.
Wow. Yes.
I'm going to go to the Word. I'm not going to deviate from this. But you know what? No one else would. There'd be like 5 people vote for him, because they'd be like, well, you can't run a country that way.
Yeah.
Well, all those guys did. And that's what we're supposed to do, because he will give an answer, and he will follow through with his answer if we only believe it. But see, we don't ask him, well, you know, we got problems with the Chinese, so let's just go to war.
And what's amazing about it, Brad, is it's not only just, we think we have to go to him, and that's what I've learned from this scenario also, this situation, is that when the crap hits the fan, when the bad stuff happens, of course, I'm going to turn to him. But it's also the small things that he wants too. He wants all of it. He wants not just, I don't need to just play games with him. And right. I know that's why he was there for me. And he led everything. He was a part of everything. That he took the anxiety away. I had one of the greatest weeks of my life the rest of the week. I was so blessed in so many things. I had people buying my dinners. I had made more friends through the situation. It was just great times. It was safety, driving up, driving back, driving all over the place. I was the one driving. It was just blessing after blessing after blessing. And it was to make sure that I remembered, not only in the hard times when it gets tough, but even in the small things, to totally depend on him in everything that I do. In everything that I do. And he will bless you. And I don't do it for that, but he does that for. He's faithful to the faithful. I'm telling you what. Praise God.
He really is.
Praise God.
In my life, man, and like in your life in this instant, he's in the business of making chicken salad out of chicken poop.
Yeah.
That's what God does.
He does.
We can't.
No.
But he takes chicken poop, and before you know it, it's chicken salad.
Chicken salad, brother.
So
praise God.
That's what he did for you.
I'm so thankful.
So whatever waste you got, take it to him, and he'll whip it up and he'll make it okay. But sometimes it takes him a while.
Yeah.
Not because it takes him a while, but because that's his will.
Yeah.
And he's got a plan.
He's got a plan, man. I'm so thankful for him, and I'm so thankful for that plan.
Well, dude, thanks
for
the story, man. I enjoyed it.
Praise God.
It was a fun time, dude.
It was.
And the weirdness of it all.
And the weirdness of it all. It was really.
But thanks for sharing. I know it wasn't easy.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that hard, but it still kind of went back there a little bit and got some of that rage back in me. I could feel it, but also could control it too. And that's why I'm so happy and so thankful for him, because it was never like that for me, man.
Well, now it's nothing but a bad memory.
I've done some really stupid things in my life before I got to know him, and really stupid things.
But you're not a sexual sycophant.
Oh, no. Just tearing stuff up. My anger would control me.
Yeah, me too.
My anger would control me, and I would do stuff that I would totally regret.
Me too.
And so I'm so thankful that, out of everything that I learned, that was one of the things that it wasn't me. It was because of him that I was able to control it. The only reason was him. Only way.
Well, man.
That's it.
Good one, dude.
Yeah.
And Lord willing, we'll see y'all again next week.
That's it. Praise the Lord, man.
And hopefully we don't have another. I'd like to hear another story like this, but I don't want you to have to live another story.
No, I don't feel like going through another one.
If you write
Lord's will.
If you write a piece of Pulp Fiction, we'll hear it, but I don't want you to go through
Thank you.
This
I don't want to go through that again, no.
But,
or anybody.
But good job unpacking it, man.
Praise God.
So
that's it. Praise the Lord.
We'll see y'all.
Yes, sir.